You lived an entire life before you turned 3. You were born, you opened your eyes and saw light for the first time. You heard your mother's voice and somehow already knew it. You learned to roll over, to sit, to crawl, to stand. You took your first step. You said your first word. You felt fear and joy and hunger and comfort thousands of times, years of experience. And you remember none of it, not one single moment. There is a name for this. It is called infantile amnesia. And the reason it happens is far stranger than the answer you were probably told, that your baby brain was simply too undeveloped to remember. Because here is the problem with that explanation. Your baby brain was not weak. It was the single most powerful learning machine you will ever possess. In those first years, you absorbed an entire language from nothing, just by listening to the people around you. You learn to recognize hundreds of faces, to read emotions on them, to balance on two legs, to understand how objects fall and how the world behaves. No adult brain could ever learn that much, that fast, again. In fact, newborns already recognize their mother's voice at birth because they were listening and remembering from inside the womb. So the memories were being made. Your brain was recording constantly. The question is not why your brain failed to save those years. The question is why it deleted them. Most people assume memory is like an old recording that simply fades if enough time passes. But that is not what is happening here. A 40-year-old can remember a single specific afternoon from when they were 7 years old. That memory is more than 30 years old, and it survives. And yet, almost no one can remember a single afternoon from when they were 2. Those memories are far younger, and they are completely gone. Something is not just letting the earliest years fade. Something is actively erasing them. And in the last decade, scientists have finally started to understand what. To store the memory of an event, a specific moment in a specific place at a specific time, your brain relies on a small curved structure buried deep inside it, called the hippocampus. Think of it as the part of you that takes an experience, stamps it with a time and a place, and files it away as "this happened to me." Without it, life becomes a stream of disconnected moments that are felt and then lost. And here is the first piece of the puzzle. In a newborn, the hippocampus is one of the most unfinished parts of the entire brain. It is still wiring itself together, still physically growing for years after birth. The filing system that turns an experience into a lasting memory is not finished being built. But an unfinished filing system is not the whole story. Because your brain was not simply failing to save those memories, it was doing something far more active than that. Your brain was destroying them. In almost every part of your brain, you are born with nearly all the neurons you will ever have. But the hippocampus is different. It keeps making brand new neurons throughout your life, and in the first years after birth, it makes them at an explosive rate. Thousands of new brain cells every single day. That sounds like a good thing. More cells, more power. But in 2014, 2 researchers named Paul Franklin and Sheena Jocelyn uncovered something disturbing about what all those new neurons actually do. When a new neuron is born into the hippocampus, it does not just quietly add itself to the network. It forces its way in. It wires itself into circuits that already exist, and in doing so, it rewrites them. Every new neuron pushing into that structure disrupts the delicate web of connections that was holding a memory in place. In their experiments, when neurogenesis was high, memories vanished. When they slowed that growth down, the memories survived. So the very thing that makes a baby's brain so astonishingly powerful, that explosive growth, is the same thing quietly erasing its past. You did not lose those first memories by accident. your growing brain paved directly over them in order to build itself. But there is a deeper reason those years feel like a void, and it has nothing to do with neurons at all. It has to do with who you were. A memory of an event is not just a picture, it is a story, and every story needs a main character. To remember this happened to me, you first need a stable sense of me, a self that exists across time, that was here yesterday and will still be here tomorrow. The psychologist Endel Tulving called this autonoetic consciousness, the awareness of your own self traveling through time. And a baby does not have it yet. In your first couple of years, there was no continuous you to anchor the memories to. There was experience, vivid and overwhelming and real, but there was no narrator inside writing any of it down. And then something arrives that changes everything: language. As you learn words, you gain the power to turn raw experience into a narrative, to say, I did this, and then that happened, and it made me feel this way. Studies show that a child's very first lasting memories tend to appear right around the time their language erupts. And it goes further than that. In cultures where parents talk with their children about the past constantly, asking, do you remember when we did this? Children form their first lasting memories noticeably earlier. Memory, it turns out, is partly a skill you are taught, using words. Before you had those words, your experiences simply had nowhere to live as a story. They happened to a person who could not yet tell their own tale. Which raises an unsettling question about the handful of early memories you think you actually do have. That memory you are quietly proud of, the one from when you were 3, a birthday, a beach, a family trip. There is a very good chance it did not happen the way you remember it. And maybe it never happened at all. The memory researcher Elizabeth Loftus spent decades proving how easily human memory can be rewritten. In one famous study, her team convinced ordinary adults that they had been lost in a shopping mall as children, frightened, crying, and finally rescued by a kind stranger. The entire event was invented, but once the story was gently suggested to them, many people did not just believe it. They began adding their own vivid details. They remembered the fear. They remembered the stranger's face. They remembered a moment that had never occurred. Now think carefully about your own earliest memories. Almost all of them come from a period when your brain physically could not yet form lasting memories. So where did they actually come from? They were built. From photographs you were shown over and over, from stories your family repeated at every gathering. Your mind quietly took those fragments and constructed a scene, then handed it to you with a label that read, I remember this. It feels like a memory. It has the exact texture of a memory. But very often it is a story about you, rebuilt from the outside and installed so smoothly that you cannot tell the difference. And if all of this feels like something was stolen from you, here is the part that changes everything. Those lost years did not disappear. They became you. If a video like this makes you see your own mind a little differently, consider subscribing, because the next one is about why you cry and why you are the only animal on earth that sheds tears from emotion. Now, back to what really happened to those missing years. You do not remember learning your native language, and yet you speak it perfectly every single day. You do not remember your mother holding you, but the sense of safety it built runs silently underneath everything you feel. You do not remember your first fears, but they still quietly decide what makes you flinch as an adult. All of it, the love, the fear, the safety, the language, sank beneath the surface of memory and became the foundation you are standing on at this very moment. You cannot visit it, you cannot replay it, but you are made entirely of it. So the truth is stranger than simply forgetting. For the first years of your life, you were a person who felt everything and recorded almost nothing. a person whose brain was so busy building itself that it erased its own beginning. Your personality, your deepest fears, your first words, your first taste of love, an entire human being existed and lived before the you that remembers ever arrived. And that first version of you is gone, not sleeping, not buried somewhere waiting to be found, gone, paved over by the very growth that made you who you are. You are a house built on top of a floor you will never see again. And somewhere down in those missing years, someone you will never remember being opened their eyes, took their very first step, said their very first word, and quietly became the beginning of you.